I agree with that too.
All
Most
right.
definitely, I agree with that.
Let me go to the comment that's going to get me hate mail. Well, the meat and potatoes for tonight is a word that we like to call polygamy. Well, when black people are attached to that word, it's bad. But when you're in Utah, it's not all bad. In fact, the Utah Senate just passed a law to stop demonizing it as a violation of law. So in Utah, on Little House on the Prairie, yeah, polygamy is lit. They back on that again. All right, listen. I need extra wise to churn that butter, get that milk, make them biscuits. Now, why is it trending again? We all familiar with what polygamy is. Uh, Brother Polite is a well-known public figure who talks about Africanism. He talks about Pan-Africanism, and he is very visible when he talks about polygamy. He has multiple wives. All of them are really nice looking at that. So I salute to him. Second of all, we need to understand why is it denounced in Western culture? Because you go to other cultures around the world, polygamy is embraced. You go to Africa, you go to I'm not going to say other parts of the country. All of that's Africa, whether it's the Middle East or Africa, it's still Africa. So please take that tonight and understand that Israel is in Africa, Egypt is in Africa. I shouldn't have to tell y'all that, but I will. So polygamy. And I actually had a question because when we had our pre-show discussion, I knew it would be kind of controversial because in reality, and I don't want to offend anybody, but I will, only for sake of purpose and ratings, the data must be presented. Polygamy is found in the Old Testament, and over 40 important figures had more than one wife, such as Esau. Multiple marriage occurred on several occasions on the will of man in the case of famine, widowhood, or female infertility. So kings to this day are known to have a harem. They have a selection of wives, right? So let me go to part two. So in Old Testament Bible, polygamy was prevalent. Then you go to New Testament, which I want to highlight that the Jewish faith does not recognize the New Testament, if I'm correct. They only recognize Old Testament. New Testament is after Jesus Christ was assassinated because he was black. Another show. New Testament does not recognize polygamy. It's not frowned upon, but it's not mentioned, right? In fact, in Timothy 3:2, the church leaders should be the husband of one wife. This has been read by some Christians as prohibition of polygamy. Others argue that polygamy is allowed, but not for church leaders. So, with that being said, my brothers, you got Brother Polite. I got all the kings. We kings. Chris told me I was a king. I need to ask you guys y'all views on polygamy because in reality, to be the bad guy here, some of our granddaddies and daddies practice polygamy. He might not have married her, but he had a house over on A Street with a bunch of kids. He had a house over there on Fort Pierce. Your daddy had some other kids and other families that he raised. My brother's granddaddy had 40 kids.
Ooh.
40. Yeah, 40.
Whole lot of humping around.
Man. So he
it
had
wasn't
40.
just on Wednesday either.
So whether it is out in front or whether it's behind the scene, polygamy is something that has been there. So I don't know when it was denounced, but why is polygamy so bad? And can it be beneficial, especially in an era where you have a ratio of 20 to 1 women? In Atlanta, it's probably 35 to 1 due to unforeseen things. But why is it frowned upon and why can't it be embraced? Well, I'm going to go to Chris first because it should be fun. All right.
Okay. I think that that's something that we should consider in our community, honestly. I think if we take the emotions out of the situation and have a true conversation, then I think that we can really need to examine it. There's a wealth gap in this country. The average white household makes substantially more than the average black household. And so unless we're going to get overnight, we're going to get into ownership and buying of property and creating businesses that creates jobs, it's going to take some time to catch up. So I think that if you add another self-sufficient adult into that situation, it can speed up the process. That extra income can allow you to purchase property. You know what I'm saying? Well, you look better on a loan if you got that much income going into to pay for the loan. That now you can purchase property in a better neighborhood. We know that property tax funds the schools, so now you get to send your child to a better school. Also, even if you don't want to go the school route, you have the income to fund kids entrepreneurship. And let's just say that you yourself as a mate want to be an entrepreneur. Imagine being able to take off a year, maybe 2 years to actually chase a goal or a dream or a business that you want to start, and your other two partners is able to actually take care of that. So I think that it would be good in that sense. Also, I was told that it takes a village. Now imagine if you have 2 wives. That's extra help on the child care, the household things, and everything like that. And I also, here's the thing. I think that relationships go bad or get you because men cheat. This is what I think so. And I don't believe that men have a problem with commitment, because I've seen men be totally committed to teams that ain't won a championship in 20 years, but you can't tell them nothing about his team. So I don't think that it's a commitment issue. I think that it's a sleeping with one woman issue when it comes to men. And I think that maybe this solves it. I've never seen a man get caught cheating reading the Bible with a woman, or making a spreadsheet, or starting a bit. You don't get caught cheating with that. You get caught cheating by sleeping with other women. This may be a remedy to that situation. Also, when it comes to women, it's just like I know what I'm going to hear. I'm going to hear women say, "Well, what if the woman wanted to do it?" Well, me personally, I would ask her, "Is that really actually what you want?" Because I don't think you thought of that. Now, that's 2 Mandingo soldiers beating you like a pinata every night. Is that really what you want? Especially the kind of man that you want. You want a Long John Silver. So you might want to think about that. You might want to think about that question. And if it's actually something that you do want, then you shouldn't be looking bad at me for wanting it, because we got to compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges. I'm telling you something that I probably would like. I probably would enjoy having 2 women. I don't know. And according to women, I've been hearing my whole life, women don't like that. So you can't compare a man wanting it when a woman don't. Most of the time, they don't want other men, or so they say to us. So I just think that it is something. If we take the emotional aspect out of it and we really examine it, it could be something that can help us as a community. And that's just something I think. Zay, what you got?
Let me add some data before I go to Zay. Someone asked, "What is it when it's 2 husbands, 1 wife?" That is
a train.
Yeah, well, they call it polyandry. Polyandry is 2 husbands with 1 wife. Now, polyamory, which Cortina Peters has suggested, and which we'll discuss after the show, is defined as practicing or being open to intimate relationships with more than 1 person. That means everybody has to be on board, though. So, I mean, these things are actually familiar, huh?
And it could be anybody.
It
could be anything. Woman, man. It could be anything.
Right.
Yeah.
It means on board with it.
It means you're not looking for just 1 person to share a romantic or sexual connection with. Right. Sounds interesting, because somebody had that philosophy at the forum with the 5, the starting 5, but they will remain named. Go ahead, Zay.
I was going to bring that up. I was going to say, so, they dubbed me the ladies' man. A lot of women talk to me about this, and it's crazy because on a previous episode, we talked about men having more than 1 woman, and Kayla, I got you. That's what came my way. Well, what about us having more than 1 man? Baby, if he all right with it, you got it. See, the thing about polygamy is a lot of guys love that aspect, like, yeah, me and 2 women, but you can't stand up in the paint with 2 women. They're gonna leave you, buddy. You feel me? And also, too, on the flip side, you got to be able to take care of the women. So it's sad to say, another clip that I sent you with the old dude, what he had, a pocket full of that good old green stuff, right? And it made the whole world go round. He's able to afford the women. Now, if he's being honest with them, like he in the video that I shared with you guys, was most women don't have a problem with it. The women who have a problem with a man having more than one woman is the lying ass niggas, like we spoke of earlier. However, just like you said, Horace, back in the day, it was a lot of that going on because it's a lot of households where, yes, he was married, but he was taking care of other households too, and he was dropping it off too. So, you know, as a young man looking forward, saying yes, yes to all these women and polygamy, it sounds good. Make sure that you're able to stand up in the paint, both financially, sexually, and mentally, because that's why they're allowing you to run that way, is because of your male guidance, your protection, your leadership. They're saying that they're going to be loyal to whatever it is that you're doing as long as you're honest with it. And where we drop the ball, fellas, a lot of times is we throw that line there and it mess it all up. But more women are into polygamy than guys actually think. And it goes back to the upbringing that you talked about, Hart, where men are grown up to be pimps and players, and then women are grown up to be wholesome. And somewhere along the lines, the two switch.
Well,
You got
I want to say one thing. One, I can't comprehend, like Chris said, a woman being able to take 2 jackhammers, because most of the ones that we do know can't take the ones they got. They don't ask for the foot long, and don't ask the person to cut it up in 4 parts. But when you talk about this situation here, it just gets tricky. And to be honest, now that we have definitions to it, man, this stuff has been actually in the urban communities for a long time. We just didn't put a definition to it. So when you see you were talking about the woman wanting more than one guy. Hello, we might not know about it, but it's always been more than one guy. So
it's the honesty though, too.
They ain't honest.
That's what I'm saying. On both sides, the women have to be honest about what they truly want, and the men have to be honest about what they truly want. Let the chips fall where they may. If she don't want you because you want more than one woman, the hell with it. There's so many women who do. Or if the guy doesn't want you because you want more than one woman, the hell with him. Right back to what we said in the beginning. Do what makes you happy. And a lot of people forget that because they want to make mama and daddy and the pastor happy. I'm gonna have one man, but I'm unsatisfied.
Listen, I drown in my own pool before I let another man swim in it. Mario.
Yeah, so the word polygamy, for one, it means marriage. So let's get that straight. So that's so we're using this word all out of context, because you don't want to be married to one woman, let alone 5. So let's get that straight. So most men who saying they want to be in a polygamous relationship, that's a lie. Because you just want really to have a bunch of women that you can be able to fuck under one roof. You don't want the problems of having to deal with 5 different periods, 5 different problems, 5 different emotions. You don't want to have the problems of she want a child, she want a child. I want my child to have what this child have. I want to go here too. Why you went on a date with her? Come on, if that's the case, man, you will have a wife. You will have one right now to start off with, and then that one, because Brother Polite, as you brought up, had one wife, and then him and his wife said, "Oh, you know what? We need some more help." So him and his first wife went and got another wife. He didn't start off with 5 women and then say, "Hey, I'm a polygamist." No, that's not how this works. And then we always compare ourselves to the Western culture when they're not capitalistic cultures. And then most of the time, women don't have rights. So most of the time, women marry men just to have anything in life. So right now, all their fathers or their mothers pushed them off on men and they had no choice. But I'm not against polygamous at all. I just wish people would stop saying, I want to be a polygamist, when you know that you can't do that. And as a man, right now, being married is not easy as, I just come home and just fuck my wife and then that's cool. Bro, it's a lot to deal with one wife. So I couldn't imagine having 3 more to have to say, yeah, I want that toilet fit. Hey, did you get the blinds today? Or did you? Because it's still a woman. It's still a relationship that you acquired. So that's 2 relationships. It's not you and your wife getting a slave or getting a housekeeper. You're getting a woman. What Chris said, okay, well, I'm gonna get a bunch of people to put in money. Like I'm just paraphrasing. That's cool until the emotions get in. So what we gotta do, we gotta be real. Right now, some days my lady come home and just don't feel like it. Like she just feel like she just had a rough day. But what happens if I come home and there's two women who having fucking rough days? So what I do then? Because the money good. But then what about when two women want business? When two women, like, that's what I'm saying. It's all about that. But it's all about like, can you do it? Because most of the time, those people who we talking about were kings. So that means money was a plethora. That means finances was on point. That means they had already became self-sufficient men on their own with overflow. A lot of times we have people who can't even take care of themselves talking about I want 4 women. I understand that, my brother. You want 4 women to have fun with. You don't want to be a polygamist because that entitles what? Responsibilities. Responsibilities of being a husband to multiple women. And I don't know too many men want that. It sounds good. With the women having the freedom they do in the United States, I think it'll be way harder than you see. In other countries, women have less rights to say something, to do something. Here, it's hard enough to be on one page with one woman. Now you telling me you want to sit here and have 3 women in the same house with equal rights? When as a black man, it's stacked against us anyway. Women make more than us, most of them anyway. So most likely, unless you went to school and then went to the higher tier of a man, then you're not going to be the breadwinner. You might be the man of the house, but you're not going to be the breadwinner. So now I got you the man in the house, and you got 4 other women who make more than you, but you're going to tell them, no, they can't have it right now. But you just gave it to her. Go ahead, my brothers. Y'all have it.
But I think what I think is this. I think we're looking at this through a conventional monolithic lens. What I suggest is we go through it in a new age collaborative effort lens. Instead of me having to take care of y'all, we take care of each other and we take care of this house.
So you're not gonna have y'all not gonna have sex and emotions? We're gonna just be business partners? Because what you're talking about is a business agreement.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think relationships and when weddings are, our marriages are business relationships, and I think that they should be conducted as such. I think that should be a totally separate, different thing. I think that we should be getting together collaboratively to grow business wise. As far as the relationship part, yes, there are going to be times where you may not want to sleep with her or this, whatever the case may be. You guys have to work that out. That's always going to be a juggle. But at the same time, it's just like we have to stop thinking. I think we have to stop thinking of it traditionally. It has to be group effort. If everybody is in it for each other, I think that can kind of soothe some of the rough edges. I believe that in monolithic relationships, it's more of ownerships. We look at it as ownership. We don't look at it as this person. I'm working with this person for something. We look at it as, oh, that's my lady. Ain't nobody else can do this. Or that's my man. And nobody else can be around him. And we can't even love another woman in a relationship. That's frowned upon.
So you think the people who we have in those relationships will let you? You don't think they look at their wives like that?
Well, I think that if you're going to get married to one or two, you should get married to a more of a mindset instead of just a woman. You should be getting married to a mindset, because if you could have one woman.
What you talking about in polygamy though? We talking about like polygamy.
That's what I'm talking
about. A man being married to 4 wives. You think he don't look at his 4 wives as those my 4 wives?
Well, I don't know if that may be a bit much for that particular man. But I was more speaking about in my definition of a man and 2 women, because what I've seen was a guy named Kevin Wesley. That's been the new phenomenon. I see him taking all with the pictures and stuff like that. I'm looking at that particular situation. I believe that yes, maybe after 2 it may get a little misconstrued. It may be a little tougher, but I'm talking about that particular dynamic. I think that particular dynamic, 3 self-sufficient adults in a household, that could possibly work. I believe that in that order, because 2 women and 2 men, because when it comes down to sexually, I think there would be a lot of pressure on one woman. I think that it's less pressure on a man. I just feel like it's something that we should take into consideration. We shouldn't be just blow it off. I think that if a man was going to do that, I think he should go into the situation and find women that's collaborative with him. I think nowadays we can find women that comes into situations and want to really, really help you. I think if we found 2 of them, I don't know if that's such a bad idea.
Right. And I think it's
I got a
being
question,
real
though.
saying that's what you want. I'm saying that's what you're gonna be able to handle.
But we don't know. We haven't even tried. We never even tried to do it. We always just shun it off. We would rather talk bad about it than before we have ever even tried
I
it.
think a lot of people tried it.
No, they have.
People have tried this than you have really known. It's growing. There's a lot of people up here.
Now, the thing I will say with Brother Polite, to your point, he actually has more than one wife, and they are as a co-op with the responsibilities, with the kids, which I thought would be tricky. Asking one woman to make sure you treat my child like that child when penis is involved and emotional attachments. But that's what they have. Where he has multiple wives, they share in the responsibility. One may travel with them, one may not, but they raise those kids collectively together. So to your point, Shantae Renee, she asked, does that work with the kids involved? I think that is the biggest X factor, because if you can't make it work with the kids, and or you're gonna have a major problem.
But isn't it the same way that men and woman relationship works? There's gonna be a shock to that kid. There's gonna be some explaining that you have to do to that kid.
No.
How is it different?
See,
Because it's monolithic.
It's not. They're born into that, Chris. It's not no different.
What if they're
It's
not?
only made different.
But what if they're not? What if they're not? At some point, a lot of kids are introduced
But see, you talking
to a same-sex relationship.
Scenario.
I
most of the time.
I don't think it could be a problem. I'm not saying it's gonna be a problem. I'm not saying it can't work. I'm saying be realistic. See, we right now we talking. I understand what Chris saying. In the perfect world, if we did that would be right. I believe you're right. If you can find 2 women who are on the same page with one man who's strong enough and independent enough, who knows how to manipulate, because still too. I'm sorry. I would yet to see. I listen to a lot of Brother Polite stuff, and I've heard this man out his mouth say some days he come in and just walk back outside and get a whoosah. Like I see, like no matter what, it's still 2 women. Like so,
but they do with one woman.
Right. Okay. So then that's my point. So then when you do that, that's why I say if men right now are not ready to marry one woman, why do we think it's so fun to have 2?
Well, I don't know if we're just saying 2. I'm thinking more of a mindset, marrying a mindset first.
Running.
I want to ask something, Mario, because no matter how many wives you have, this goes back to one of Mario's principles. The man still has to be the man. The man is always going to be looked at to be the provider. And even when he ain't providing, he's supposed to be the cover. You know, like the man is the head of the house. So with that being said, like me personally, Tiger Woods was married. One woman, that didn't work out. He got took for a lot of money. Right. A lot of us behind the scenes say this: if I was worth $1 billion, I don't know if I get married. I would probably have a situation where I got more than one, maybe it's a multiple relationship or whatever. So I think being able to handle what you're asking for, because there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that situation. That would be the sex would be the easy part. Most guys will be thinking about it from sexual fulfillment.
That's my whole point. That's my point.
There's more to it.
Right now, what you saying and what Chris saying, 2 different point of view. Like right now, you're saying the head of the house there. He's saying let's have an all agreement. I'm saying regardless, when we start talking about polygamy, every guy eyes do this, and it's not about we finna have a cohesive village. It's because they hear I'm finna have multiple women to fuck. I'm just being real. Like that's what it's about. Now, if it's cool, if a man walk up to me and say, "Yeah, I want polygamy because I want to have a village," then I'll step back and say, "My brother, you might be on to something." But 9 out of 10 men I talk to are gonna be like, "Shit, 2 up, shit."
But read that comment there. A few said it's not gonna work. Them 2 women don't know their worth, right? And then it says he that find a wife find a good thing. And that's what we're saying. Like
he that found a few wives.
Hey man,
see, sometimes
your husband got multiple wives.
I'm not saying that. See, that's neither here nor like with that comment. That's beside this point right here, because that's just a opinion on saying worth. Like we don't know that because they might know their worth and choose to do that. Like if they're making a conscious choice as a grown woman to say, I want another woman and a man, and that's what they want to live their life, I would not talk down on them or them people or say they don't know their worth, because I couldn't do that. That's just me. But I'm just saying what Chris is saying is a great idea. I'm not saying it won't work. I'm just saying when we talk about polygamy, I thought we were talking about polygamy as it's being said, as it's growing in America. Right now, when you look into this, like I agree. When you look at Brother Polite, and I look at him a lot, I look at him because he's been doing this for a while. He ain't just popped, like he's been doing this for a while. Consistently doing this for a while. He has the ins and outs, and he's very forthcoming with it. So I'm looking, I'm like, dang, this man really has this in the world. Then I hear the ins, the outs of what's going on. I'm saying that take one hell of a man to be able to do that. And I don't think it's a lot of men who able to do that. I'm sorry, I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I think men have a hard time just telling the truth. That's what I said about in that declaration. Men just have a hard time telling women the truth because we have a fear of what women are going to say or being mad. No. It's more like a scarcity mindset instead of an abundance mindset. I believe wholeheartedly in telling the truth and telling women exactly how it is. And it's tough. It's tough. You're gonna have some lonely nights. You're gonna have some wacky Wednesdays. But the point is, I feel like you're going to be in a better space because you have to find people of a collaborative mindset. When I've talked to different women about this, and one of the reoccurring themes is they say things like only the man win. You know what I'm saying? Like so sometimes those women make me feel as though that's the biggest hitch in it. You don't want to see the man happy or see the man winning in a certain situation, and I think that's a problem. But I think if a man will take on this task, I don't know. I think it's something that we can't denounce before we actually try. We have buried it before we even none of us has tried it. I know most of the time when we holler at a woman, when you go to holler at a woman, and she say I got a man, you say what, you can't be a friend. So you pretty much into that too. So I don't know. I think it's something that we need to look into.
I'm with Chris.
Why do you think none of us tried it?
Bro, them misguided souls, Chris.
Why do you think none of us tried it?
I don't know. I've known you guys for a while. I ain't never seen.
I said, what do you think? No, I'm saying, what's the reason did you think none of us tried it? I know I haven't.
Traditional. We were traditionally reared.
I think traditionalism.
I don't think that I would want to do that. I think that's a lot. I think that's a lot more than I want. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I think I right now believe prior to me getting married, I could have two women continuously. I believe that. But dog, I'm saying when you really stand with a woman, maybe it's just me. Because maybe y'all encounters with staying with a woman have just been blissful. And maybe you said, you know what? I can add another woman to this because it's just so great. I haven't. So I was like, man, it's hard for me to maintain it. Because right now, even though, like you said, most men cheat not because they just want to have sex with one woman. It's not just one woman. It's multiple women. Women are beautiful everywhere we go. Everywhere we go. So it's not like a man to cheat with one specific woman. Most men who cheat with multiple women on the side because it's multiple beautiful women out here. So even if you get two wives, you still might want a third, and you still might want a fourth. That's what I'm saying. What's to stop it? What's the limit?
I'm saying just try. I don't know if you have to figure it out. Just like you came to the realization that you just want one because you tried it and you thought it was good. I think that just denying the whole thing, I think it's something that we should have conversations about. We're talking about a situation where our women are the least married, the most single mother. Like that's just the facts. We talk about broken homes a lot. What if those kids had a father? And someone said something about talking about the kids. I'm saying I don't know the difference between explaining this situation than explaining a monolithic homosexual relationship because we do that a lot in our community now. We have to explain that to kids. So I don't know how this is far-fetched from having that same conversation. And I don't know why I think as men, I think that the women that we choose should inspire us. So if you choose two, then maybe that would inspire you to do a lot more. Because what's going on now, I see a lot of sorry ass, just like what Hart is saying, like we got a lot of sorry ass dudes out here that's not willing to that's not willing to step up to the plate, and we don't encourage that over here. We want to empower men, and if that's what they want to do, be truthful.
That's my point.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to be able to be self-sufficient enough to get one before you start looking at two. That's all I'm saying.
And that's the thing too, Chris.
Enough to say. So if like right now, if Horace say, "Man, I got my shit together as a homeboy," man, you know what? And I know he can. Well, then go ahead, my brother. But if I know Horace ain't shit, and then he's saying, "Yeah, you know what? If I get two women, because we can split the bills 3 ways, and we gonna work." Bro, I'm saying, like, to me, in my standard of life, I just don't want that. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not saying it's not for everybody. I agree with you. If you feel like that's your way, do it. But I don't want. I think we putting the cart before the horse when we saying, bro, you become self-sufficient, bro.
Yes, that's the number one thing.
Like you, because you can't even obtain one wife. You can't. Most of the dudes who gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna look at them like, man, you can't afford those. You taking your damn self. You talking about 2 women? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it won't work if you are that guy. That's why I was bringing my point. Man, go ahead.
But I also
want to say, let's use a fictitious name other than Horace. Horace ain't shit.
But I also think that
you had on the suit, so I was like, you know what? you look like you well off.
Okay, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Woo. Go ahead, Chris.
But I also think that, again, like, I think that women should inspire us and motivate us. I think that you should have the confidence working at McDonald's to meet a woman that's a lawyer. But once you capture her attention, I think that should motivate you to do more. I think we should look at women more as what you as a biblical reader as a Bible reader, as helpmates. I think that they're there to help you help you aspire. I don't think that they should be there to be used. I think that they're there for motivation. They're there for inspiration. They're there as a driving point for what you should aspire to.
But you gotta have a vision. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta have a vision, and they help you do it. But if you walk into a relationship and then you can't be a shepherd, and then all you got is a bunch of sheep now. So right now you as a shepherd, right? You can't lead yourself. You don't know what road to go on, and you got 1 sheep. You can't even lead 1 sheep, but now you want 2 sheep. Now all 3 of y'all gonna crash and that's all I'm saying. I just feel like I agree with you. Once a man is in his thing, I'm never gonna stand. Just because I choose one, my brother. If you could do 2 or 3, my hat's off to you. Now I never talk down on you. I'm just saying I don't want it to be paint a picture. Cause I think that's negligent. That it's an easy thing to just jump into and then just go ahead. Because you tying more people into your shit when I believe a man is a shepherd. So I believe right now, if you keep acquiring all these people, or all these women, or all this stuff, and you can't handle yourself, I just don't believe it. I just don't believe in that because we don't preach that here. Go ahead.
But then again, when I hate to keep on going back and forth, but when you look at the comments, when you look at the narrative that's keep on saying, a lot of people are saying women this and women that and women this.
Right.
At some point, when are we going to look at the situation and for what it's worth? A lot of people saying, well, women is emotional and women are competitive, or women, like, at some point we need to address that with that part with the women. Like, hey, look, maybe you guys need to change a little something. Maybe you guys need to make this a little easier. Maybe I'm not the villain. I'm not per se saying I can do it or whatever the case may be. But if I could, maybe it's you guys need to change your mindset and be more cooperative. Maybe
I agree with that. I agree.
All the comments is about, well, women gonna be combative and women, like, come on, man. I don't know.
And that go back to me saying that being real with yourself, understanding that the dating pool is way smaller for women than it'll ever be for men. So when you feel like you entitled to have your way because of you're a woman and your feelings matter more than the man's, and you starting off wrong right there. And that's my point of having to. Because you find out you shrink the dating pool when you're trying to get 2 cohesive thinking women to be on the same page as a man. I believe you can go get a woman. I believe everybody here can go get a woman like this. But can you go find, now it gets even more tough to find women who gonna think outside the box and think realistic and not be so emotional or so worried about what their friends or what society gonna pull them in to say, you know what? This works for us. This works for Chris, Sarah, and Jane. and we don't care what nobody else say, nobody else who out there unhappy, nobody else who out there strong by themselves, putting the flag down for all women around the world. We don't care, because know what? Chris, Sarah, and Jane work, and that's what worked. But now you got to find those women.
I think you get Sarah and Sarah will find James. Allow Sarah to find James.
Oh, I believe
that's just how it goes.
If she finds who she's comfortable with, you sit back, my brother, and let that thing work. You plant the seed, water the soil, and watch the harvest.
That's what you got to do.
That's polite whole thing. He said, I think we need somebody else. Him and his wife. Then the wife go do her. Then she somebody who she feel like that could be compatible and help the cohesiveness of their relationship. It's very intriguing. And I think Brother Hart on the top is ready to take on this.
And I got my sight set. Hey, I want to say though, they have there are groups though. Whether you look on some of these credit lists, if you look on Facebook, there are actual groups, and they have polyandry, polygamy. You would be surprised. Every group that you can think of, if you type it in your search box, it's a group for that on Facebook, and it'd be 10,000 people in those groups.
So I think we got two. I think those groups just gained 2 more members up top. I want to see this go. I believe one thing. I believe about my brothers who's on this page. Y'all can put it y'all mind anything. So I believe you're right. And I have never seen nobody or knew anybody personally who have done this successfully or with good intent, and being serious.
Well, if it was to happen, it would be done privately. I take a book out of the chapter out of the book of my brother Chadwick. We're going to do that privately. It's between us in this triad, my brother.
Okay.
Well, all right. And to the fans in attendance, whether you're watching from Twitch, Roku, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, wherever we are at, if you want to involve yourself and participate in this new experiment that Seeing Chris is going to conduct, please contact us over at the Black Super Friends Podcast, where we are going to go in the avenue of polygamy. We are going to do this for the sake of data and experiment, just to test the waters. We're trying to change the community. So please reach out to Seeing Chris and anyone that is interested in polygamy, polyamory, or whatever Katina Peter said. We are definitely up to participate in this study. All right.
Well, if you want to reach me, if you want to reach me, you can go through my manager. That is the Horror Ace Pounds.
No one.